we will roll on to 3A Division 2. And this is one, I'll give you guys a hint. This is one of two brackets where we all have the same state champ. We all went with Gunner to win state. And I just don't see, to me, the gap between Gunner and everyone else has been wide enough that I just don't see, even though I think this is not as good of a Gunner team as it was last year, but that to me is an unfair bar. You know what I mean? It's a really good Gunner team. I think they're the clear favorite in Region 2. But Region 1 is interesting. Power, all of us are ready to hop off the Canadian bandwagon. All of us are just like, Canadians defense scares us. We're all going with Wall. And here comes Greg Powers.
Wearing the cape.
Who's saying, you know what?
Not so fast, is it?
Not
so fast. No, it was one of the tougher picks.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
to
absolutely.
me. I think it's a really tough pick. I flipped a coin. I went with Canadian.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Look, Canadians got the history. They've won this region, I think, 8 of the last 9 years. So if you want to say that when they get to playoff time, they dominate. I just think what Wall's been able to put together from a defensive perspective, I trust their defense more than Canadians' defense.
Yeah, and it'll be wild because, again, we always pencil in Gunner and Canadian every single year, and it's like, well, hold on a second. But yeah, no, I think Wall's defense is going to outshine Canadian. I have been not on the Canadian bandwagon this year.
To Region, we talked about Region 2. Region 3, the Gregs are on Newton. Newton is a team that I think you gotta pay no attention to their record. That is a team that took some losses early, but two things. One, all of them are good losses. Their 3 losses are to West Orange Stark, Jefferson, and then a team from Louisiana. All 3 of them are good losses. They also have a win over Tatum, which has aged extremely well. They got a win over Woodville, which is really good. I think they're playing really good ball right now, and I think the upside, and I wonder if that's where your head was at on this too, Powers, the upside for Newton, I think, is there.
My logic was this. I didn't pick Wascom. I had to pick Newton. So, that's the way it came down to it for me. Those are 2 of the types of teams that I really enjoy watching in the playoffs, that they play a physical brand, they play an attacking style, and that's what's gotten Newton there in the past. And to me, this region's pretty wide open, so I picked the team that I think could be hot right now.
And Pickle, Step, Ish, and Mallory, you've been New Diana pilled.
Yeah, no, we absolutely have. I mean, this was a team that you're looking back a couple of years ago, 1-9, 2-8. Last year, they obviously had a complete turnaround season, and almost everybody on that team is back. So you've got the big-time game experience. I think that the difference maker for New Diana is DeJuan Johnson.
Yep.
I think that
He's
the
a dog.
Sophomore quarterback has been incredible. And if they don't make it to the winning the region this year, you better watch out for him next year, because he has been just insane.
The number 1 scoring offense in 3A Division 2 is the New Diana Eagles.
Behind a sophomore quarterback. He's averaging 117 yards of rushing per game. I mean, dual threat, and I think that's why their offense has just completely outpowered everyone.
Next year, Pickle.
Next year. I'm getting ahead of myself.
He's got plenty of time.
And then there's Region 4. Region 4, we're evenly split. Powers, Step, and Hartley, y'all are on Poth. Y'all are going with the Pirates of Poth. I am not letting East Bernard's Week 11 loss sway me. I believe they're still the team to beat there. I'm going to roll with East Bernard. There, Pickle, you're along with me. Thank you for your courage. Issues on that as well.
Yeah.
But all of us have Gunner winning state. I will just say this about Gunner. Teams that are the teams that have given Gunner trouble have been really athletic teams with athletes on the outside, teams with speed. Franklin comes to mind. When Canadians really athletic, they give them trouble, right? I think there are some teams on there. I think East Bernard could fit in that mix.
For sure.
And I think Newton and New Diana could fit in that mix. So there are teams. I think Poth is a bad matchup for I think Gunner's a bad matchup for Poth.
Yeah.
But I think that the other teams there, if see them in a state championship game, that could give them trouble. If you're trying, I think Gunner's the clear favorite. I want to be clear. But I do think that if you want to say, well, this is the reason why it's not Gunner, that it would be reasons like that of like, I'll also say this, small thing. They're probably getting Wichita Falls City View in the second round.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
That's a good. I mean, it's a good matchup for them in the playoffs. I don't see it this year, but I do agree that there's a roadmap to beat Gunner this year. And I don't know that you can follow the Salina roadmap because obviously that's a punch up for Gunner.
Right.
But that is a roadmap I think that you can approach in this bracket and say, how do we get Gunner? Let's watch that game.
Yeah, which is something that we have not been able to say in a really long time. Just straight up that there is a roadmap to beat Gunner.
Salina and Anna both kind of followed that same path to beat Gunner. So anyway, keep an eye on that one. 3A Division 2. This is the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Today playoff prediction show. Make sure you go to texasfootball.com/playoffs to get all you need for the Texas football playoffs. Let's now get to maybe the most anticipated bracket?
Fireworks.
381? To 3A Division 1 we go. And a little bit of color here. A lot of changes here. Okay, we'll start with Region 1. Region 1, I do not think anybody has separated themselves from the pack. And I think when you take a look at our predictions, that bears that out. 3 of us are on Bushland. Although Bushland took a loss late in the year, that has me a little spooked. That scares me. They lost in week 10, or they lost in week 9 to Shallow Water. So if you want to go with Shallow Water, you're well within your rights. I think they would get them in a rematch. That's a 1-point game on the road at Shallow Water. Neutral site, I would probably give the edge to Bushland. But I think you're within your rights to go with Shallow Water. And then Greg Powers.
Stepping out.
A pedigree play with Jim Ned.
I just think it's wide open in this one. Anybody could win it. I mean,
I do agree.
So,
I agree. Region 2, we're all in lockstep for the most part with Malakoff, the defending state champs, coming off of a big win in week 11 over Winsboro.
That's what sealed it for me.
Looking good. I also think that lays out a more favorable draw for them as a result. Matt Stepp, though, going with Jefferson. I'll tell you, the Bulldogs undefeated. That's a team that has been very, very strong. The offense has been absolutely rolling of late, and they came out of they won a very difficult district. Okay, they have wins over Atlanta, Liberty Ilo, Tatum, Newton, and DeKalb. Okay,
if they win the state championship, it's a dangerous path.
Oh yeah.
Too. So I mean, to get to the state championship,
they are battle tested for sure.
Yeah.
And I think that, Malakoff passed their big test. Jefferson has been passing big tests all year long. To Region 3. Okay. So here's Region 3. Almost all of us are on Columbus. Okay? Columbus has the one loss on the year to Hitchcock. You might be wondering why is nobody picking Hitchcock? They've beaten Columbus. Hitchcock is really banged up right now. Hitchcock, the injuries are what kept me from taking the Bulldogs.
Yes, absolutely. When Lloyd Jones went out, then it was done.
It really is a heartbreaker for them. I like Columbus. Just the balance they have. I think they've looked complete. Obviously, they have the one loss in the year. Matt Stepp, though, the bold choice of taking the team that's played in the last 4 stinking state championship games in Franklin. Everybody's forgetting about Franklin. But this team, it's because they took a couple of losses early.
There was a bad loss to Salina. I know that's punching up, but that is
drilled by Salina.
Bad loss to Salina.
And then they lost to a private school team in Houston, Legacy, a Spring Legacy School of Sports and Sciences. But they're really loaded with prospects.
They also beat Hitchcock.
They also have a win over Hitchcock, right? No, they didn't.
The Legacy School?
Oh, Legacy School. Yeah, they did. I'm sorry. I thought you meant.
Yeah, so I mean, Legacy is a team is
a legit team.
Beat UIL teams this year.
But I will tell you that they've still got Jaden Jackson. The offense has been absolutely electrifying. They run that kind of slot T style that's very difficult to defend. And for Columbus, I think if you get Columbus and Franklin, which would be a regional final, is that correct? If you get a Columbus-Franklin regional final,
it's going to be
popcorn.
And 2 different styles completely.
Absolutely. And then Region 4, we're all going with Edna. We go to Ashley Pickle, our chief Region 4 correspondent.
I am not having the entire team of Edna in my Instagram DMs again, so I surrendered the white flag.
Okay. But you think Lano can beat him, though, right? Are you not going to say that? You told me that in confidence.
Well,
you said Lano's going to smoke Edna.
So Lano has the more difficult path.
They do. They got put in the dirty side of the region.
They got put in the dirty side of the region. So getting to the regional finals would be good, but they're going to be battle tested getting there. So that can go one of 2 ways. It can go bad, or it could go where, hey, we've been punched in the mouth and Edna's kind of walked through the playoffs. But no, I think Edna's playing on a different level right now.
Let me ask you a question. Are we all in agreement that it's going to be Region 2 versus Region 3 in the title game?
Yes.
right? All of us have a Region 2 or Region 3 team winning the title.
Yes.
I think Malakoff Columbus or Malakoff Franklin feels like the most likely state championship game.
I agree.
Does that feel about right?
Yep.
I'm going with Columbus, but Malakoff has a history of making us look silly. They got QB1 too. Like we talk about Adam Schobel.
Yeah. They've got QB1 and Mike Jones.
Who?
Mike Jones. The defense has looked great again. I think they can score, man.
Yeah, I think there are a number of teams in Region 3 who could win.
I think so.
The championship this year, and to me, Edna's one of the 5 chalkiest regional favorites.
I think absolutely right. I think Edna's the clear favorite in Region 4 of 3A Division 1. So there it is, our 3A Division 1 playoff predictions. You can find those at texasfootball.com/playoffs. You can find everything you need. Everything. I mean, like, if you need like a ride to the airport, you can go to texasfootball.com/playoffs and get it there as well.